You don't need to fix anything right now. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need to push. Just let yourself be here for a moment. If you're listening to this, there's a good chance you're tired in a way sleep doesn't really touch. Your body might be tense. Your thoughts might feel foggy or loud at the same time. You might feel behind, even if you can't clearly explain what you're behind on. And somewhere inside, there's this quiet pressure telling you that you should be doing more, trying harder, catching up. But instead, everything feels slower, heavier, muted. That disconnect can feel scary. That can make you wonder if something is wrong with you. You might think, other people seem to manage this. I used to handle more than this. Why can't I just push through like I used to? Those thoughts often stay unspoken. Because on the outside, you're still functioning. You're showing up, you're responding. You're doing the minimum required to keep things moving. But inside, it feels like something is quietly shut down. And here's the part that rarely gets said clearly. That shutdown didn't happen because you're weak. It didn't happen because you lack discipline. It didn't happen because you're broken. It happened because your brain is trying to protect you. When pressure stays high for too long, your nervous system adapts. Not by giving you more energy, but by pulling the brakes. This isn't a failure response. It's a survival one. Your brain doesn't understand calendars, ambitions, or social expectations. It understands safety and threat, constant urgency. Even quiet, internal urgency feels like a threat over time. So when you keep pushing, keep overriding fatigue, keep telling yourself just a little more, your system eventually chooses a different strategy. It reduces motivation. It numbs emotion. It creates avoidance. Not to sabotage you, but to slow you down. That's why pushing harder often backfires. You're trying to solve exhaustion with effort. But effort is the very thing that signaled danger in the first place, so your brain resists. Not consciously, not dramatically. Just enough to make everything feel harder than it should. And when that happens, shame often follows. You might label yourself as lazy, unfocused, unmotivated. But avoidance is not a character flaw. It's a protective reflex. Procrastination, numbness, scrolling, zoning out. These are ways your system tries to reduce load. They're attempts to regulate, not signs of moral failure. Once you see that, something important can soften. You don't have to fight yourself, because fighting yourself keeps the pressure high, and high pressure keeps the shutdown in place. Relief begins when the nervous system senses that it's allowed to stand down. Not forever, just enough to feel safe again. That's why rest isn't a reward. Even after pushing through, it's part of how clarity returns. When pressure drops, your system slowly releases its grip. Energy doesn't come back all at once. Motivation doesn't suddenly spark, it returns quietly. In small signals, a moment of curiosity, a thought that feels a little clearer, task that feels less heavy than it did yesterday. Those aren't accidents. They're signs that your system no longer feels under attack. And this is where self-permission matters more than self-discipline. Permission to move at a pace that doesn't hurt you. Permission to not optimize every moment. Permission to let enough be enough in cultures that reward constant output. Slowness gets mislabeled as weakness. But from a psychological perspective, slowing down is often an intelligent response. It's your system recalibrating. You don't regain momentum by forcing it. You regain it by creating conditions where it's allowed to return. And that doesn't require dramatic change. It doesn't require reinventing your life. It starts Internally, by noticing when you're adding pressure on top of pressure, by recognizing that being hard on yourself feels productive, but usually ice and single quates. By allowing your internal tone to become less urgent, you're still in control. But control doesn't have to look like force. It can look like respect. Respect for your limits. Respect for your capacity. Respect for the fact that you are not a machine designed for endless output. When you stop pushing against yourself, you're not giving up. You're listening. And listening is what allows trust to rebuild. Trust that you, AI mover, again. When you're ready, trust that rest won't erase your potential. Trust that your pace is not a problem to solve. You don't need to catch up to anyone. You don't need to prove that. You're trying hard enough. You're allowed to recover without justification. Right now, there's nothing you need to fix. Nothing you need to decide. Nothing you need to force. Just this moment of understanding your brain didn't shut down to stop your life. It shut down to protect it. And slowly, gently, as the pressure eases, you'll feel yourself come back online. Not rushed. Not pushed. Just ready. And that's enough.